Hi, I'm Peter. Welcome once again to my workshop. Today's video is going to be about not so much my pack itself, but everything that's in my pack. If you've watched my videos, you know that generally my backpacking trips are around 3 nights long, sometimes a little bit longer. And what's in here doesn't really vary for the most part based on the length of the trip. But does vary some based on the weather, the temperatures I'm expecting. So we'll start with the outside pockets. This is a Gossamer Gear Mariposa. One of the unique features it has is this long pocket on one side, which I find to be a really convenient place to stash my tarp. So this is a Hammock Gear Cuban fiber tarp with some mesh sleeves on it, and I just fold it a few times and then take the cords for the two ends for the ridge line and wrap it all around there and stuff it in, and that's how that rides. Also down in this pocket I've got a little bag with tent stakes, MSR groundhogs, and tree huggers. We'll have to be reevaluating our suspension system this spring based on some new bling that's available from Dutch, and you know, there'll probably have to be a video about that if we do that. And that's all that's on that side. On side pockets on the other side, here on the top I've got, these are empty at the moment, but usually this 8 to 9 ounce bottle would have some alcohol in it, and this small bottle on most trips comes along and carries a little maker's mark for those cold evenings. Also here attached to a little carabiner is my Delorme SE, a satellite communications device and hiker tracking device that I take with me on every hike and hopefully learn to turn on in the morning so that it'll track my location and my wife knows where I am. I reuse this carabiner in the evenings to hang my pack from the hammock suspension, usually at the head end. So there's probably room for, you know, something else in there, but I don't have anything else to ride there at the moment. Here in the bottom pocket, I've got my cat hole trowel, very important item. This will collapse, but I generally carry it extended. And there. I've got my water collection and filtering kit, or parts of it anyway. So this is just a little plastic container from the supermarket. So I've got some strings here. Got one that has knots and 2 whoopee hooks. And I use this to go around a tree and make the hook catch a knot, and then I can hang the water bag from the other second whoopee hook. I'll do a demo on that someday. The other thing, well, that's all tangled. This also goes in that hook along with the water bag, and that hangs down, and it's got a hook on the other end to hold the clean bag, so that I don't have to try to balance it and stand it up. It'll hang on there. This is my dirty water reservoir. It's a Sea to Summit dry sack, 8 liter, which I've modified with this hardware here so I can connect a hose to it, and well, actually the filter gets connected here, and for the gravity filtration system. And this is not just a container to hold all that stuff in, but in situations where there isn't enough water, it's not deep enough to scoop the whole bag into the water source, this becomes a scoop. The only other thing here is my thermometer. It doesn't say a brand name on here. I think this was Orvis, maybe. I think it's the intended use is fishing, maybe. But it's my hiking thermometer. It's lasted a whole season, so it seems sturdy enough for that, and lives there because I can manage to reach it while I'm hiking and pull it out and look at it. Other pockets here are the pockets on the hip belt. This one is empty at the moment. In normal use, I might keep snacks in there. Most commonly cashews and or beef jerky. And on the other side, normally we'll ride my hiking wallet, which is usually would normally have a car key in it, driver's license, credit card or two, and some cash. And my iPhone, which is mostly off during the day. I've added a shoulder strap pocket for my camera, which comes in very handy because you know, I'm walking along down the trail, see something I want to take a picture of or do a little filming, I can just reach in and pull it out, and it's right there. It's got a kind of a lanyard on it that, just for safety purposes, I loop through this little strap that's actually intended to keep your water filtration tube in place, but just in case I trip and fall, which I do, the camera can't go too far, and I think it's been saved from damage a couple of times that way. Let's see. All right. There is a pocket here in the lid. By the way, this pack is not the latest version of this pack. They came out with a new one this year, of course. Although in checking the website, it looks similar. This pocket is nearly useless. What I keep in here, oh look, there's one left from the last trip, is sometimes a spare map, almost always a spare map just in case my originals get damaged. I generally will make a copy on my printer of the maps I'm going to be taking with me. And I know from experience that inkjet ink runs very quickly if it gets wet, so that's why I'm concerned about potentially losing, you know, a map to water damage. The other thing I've got in here that I won't pull out because it's a real snug fit is a spare Platypus 2-liter, 1.9, something like that, water pouch. And they only weigh about an ounce, and I realized at some point that I'd be really screwed if I blew out a water bag on a trip. It would end the trip, and probably not in a comfortable way. So that's the top. The only other outside pocket is this mesh one on the back, which I try not to overload, but what I keep in here is mostly clothes that I might want to, you know, grab on the fly. So this is a pair of little fleece gloves, and normally I would only take this, you know, like the first hike of my hiking season in May, or the last one in October. Similarly, I've got some rain mitts from Outdoor Research, you know, just in case my hands get cold easily. So we like to have some way to keep them warmer. I don't have a better place to keep my water filter, so it usually lives back there. I guess maybe it would fit in this side pocket as well, but that's where that goes. Oh, this is what happens. So these are a pair of rain pants, which I'm not sure if I've ever really worn them on the trail. Generally, if I'm on the trail and it's raining, I expect to be wet. And if I'm in camp, I've under a tarp and I've changed into dry clothes. But they're there, you know, for another layer of warmth. I just realized I also keep a rain jacket in here, and since I'm not actually on the trail, it's not there. I'll go get it. Okay, I'm back. We can just pretend that I never left and this jacket was in here all the time. This is kind of my rain jacket. It's, what do they call it? Durable water repellent, or was when it was new. I did treat it last spring with that spray stuff that's supposed to renew durable water repellent. That's no longer very water repellent, and it worked to maybe a minor extent. But I will get, if it's raining all day, this will not keep the water out. This is from Patagonia. It's a model that was called the Zephyr. I've had it for years and years. I really like it because it's got this little layer of fleece on the inside. And I'm not sure they have anything comparable today. And I also like it because it doesn't have a hood. Well, I'm not going to go get it. I also don't have my hat. If you watch my pictures, you've seen my hat. It'll also live in this pocket. So I much prefer to wear a jacket without a hood and a rain hat with a full brim than to wear a hood. Personal preference. So I've hiked with no shirt, wearing just this and shorts down to into the 40s, and as long as I keep moving, I'm good. So that's my jacket. I suppose I should look for a replacement since it doesn't keep the water out, but as I said, if it's raining and I'm hiking, I expect to be wet. Okay, the only other thing that might live in here besides the hat is at certain times of year a little bug net. It rolls up to in a ball the size of a golf ball or something. So much for that. On to the main pocket. So, as you might have noticed in this tubing, I use a hydration bladder. And that lives right on the very top of the pack. And again, that's the Platypus 1.8 liter reservoir. And I keep that attached to my sternum strap so that when I'm hiking, it's right here in easy reach. And this is a bit of a chore, but there's a port here in the pack that I can pull that through. That's not the most convenient thing in the world always, but you know, I've thought about maybe having water bottles on the hip belt, but I haven't do much more than think about it. Anyway, under the water reservoir will generally go my food bag. That's an earth sack. I just threw a few vitamins in there for demonstration purposes. The other thing that lives in there besides food is my spoon. There we go. Which is an MSR titanium spoon that I've had for years and years and years again. Well, hopefully it'll widen there without getting damaged, since it's metal, you know, so it shouldn't break. And I've broken the plastic ones. All right. So we've got a couple of ditty bags. Basically, green is for gear and blue is for bathroom. And we've got some things in here. Got a compass, a little needle and thread. That's some thread wrapped around a dowel, and a couple of sewing needles, all in a little plastic vial that was hanging around for some reason. The purpose of this is to be able to back flush the Sawyer Mini if I need to. So this has the right connection. I'm using Quick Connects here. I'll do a full thing on the water system someday. But then this can go on the bag, and I can push clean water through it backwards and clean it out, which I had to do on one hike this year. So good thing I have that. I got a little ground sheet, pretty thin. I'm not sure if I ever had to use it, how useful it would be. Some extra Ziploc bags, some repair, Cuban fiber, tape, headlamp, spare batteries and a spare lighter, some lengths of cord for tying out the side pulls and lengthening the guy lines on the tarp if need be, and that's it. By the way, I'm not going over individual weights because who could remember them all. The overall pack load, as standard without food, fuel, or water, is about 15 pounds. So this is not just a first aid kit or just a poop kit. It's a bunch of stuff that normally you would find in a bathroom in your home. So this is my first aid bag. I've got an assortment of bandages, some pills for various things that might ail you on the trail, a few water treatment pills just in case something goes wrong with the filter, some ointment, and a first aid booklet, tweezers. I should have a tick key on here, but I don't. Contact lenses. This is just a couple of pairs. Usually I would have a pair for every day plus spares, so those are daily wear, disposable. Got a glasses case. If I'm wearing contacts, I need a place to put my glasses, so we carry that. Some 100% Ben's DEET insect repellent, which I've had so long the writing has all worn off. I very rarely use that. Mirror, toilet paper, and some little alcohol hand wipes. Toothbrush. Don't remember where I found this, but that works out well. And some floss, because I keep telling myself I'm going to floss on trips, and, well, I usually don't. Okay. What else we got down here? Cook kit. Or part of my cook kit. Stuff sack. We've got homemade koozie. Thank you, Shug, for teaching me how to make those. And you probably know Reflectix is not heat resistant, actually, or flame resistant, so you can burn them. So inside here, whose mug is that? Evernew 900, I believe, titanium pot from lid from Tinny. I'm pretty sure I threw out the frying pan lid that it comes with. And its own stuff sack. Now I don't take the same arrangement with me every time, but lately I've been taking this. So we have an actual bush buddy here, and that does nest perfectly as advertised inside the pot. But it takes up most of the space available. So about the only other thing that will fit in there is the stove that I normally carry. This is a M7 from Mini Bull Designs. I've talked about this on some of my hikes. It's really just a little container of some sort, metal, with a lid. And there are two things that I really like, well, or three things I really like about this stove. One is mostly it has the lid, and it's got a little plastic here on this side of the lid. So it makes a pretty good seal, and I've tested this. And between leaving it 24 hours results in no weight change. So it does a very good job of keeping alcohol that's in here. And it'll hold a pretty good amount, about 3 ounces, Tinny says. And I find that to be the case. And with 3 ounces, if it starts out dry, you put 3 ounces in, it won't drip. So the other thing I like about it is Tinny offers this simmer ring, which goes right like that. And I used that on one trip this year when I needed to do some simmering. And it will just ride there when you're not using it as well, so it's nice and compact. So that pretty much fills up the pot. So this pot is full. But I've got some other cooking related gear. So, and this is also new. I got this for Christmas, and it's one of those things that I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out in the field. And it didn't come with a stuff sack, so I went through my stuff sack collection, and something's not working right here. I tried to find one that it would fit in without it being too big. There we go. And found one that seems to work all right. So again, homemade koozie, and this is a Batch Stoves dry baking pot that I got for Christmas. So in here, I've got this is a push-pull cap that goes on the platypus in camp, so I don't have to worry about it tipping over there. Yeah, I mean, it's standing there. Hope that's in camera range, pretty solidly, but the ground isn't always level, obviously. So it's nice that I can make sure the water doesn't all leak out. Okay, I've got a little chamois in here, handy in camp for picking up hot things sometimes, but its primary purpose really is to keep the rest of the stuff from rattling around inside the pot. I try to keep a quiet pack. And what else is in here is the baking ring and the non-spare lighter. Now, I'm trying to work out different configurations, but one of the things I found is that in the koozie, this pot, it's like a cut down 10 centimeter pot, it will not actually nest inside the larger pot, which is the equivalent of 12 centimeter. It's just the koozie's too fat, so it won't go. So that limits my options. So we're carrying it separately, and it fits in the pack all right. So that works. Next layer, let's see. We're down to my trash compactor bag. So, like many people, I use the trash compactor bag to keep the stuff that needs to absolutely be kept dry. and it's never failed me. So I use it and depend on it, and because I trust it, I don't use a pack cover. I just don't see any point to also using a pack cover. Anything that's not in here, I don't care if it gets wet. So I've got my hammock, Dream Hammock Roaming Gnome, two-ended stuff sack. Red is for head, so I can remember which end my head end is. And under that, inside this other little dry sack, I have no idea where this came from, is my Kindle. This is a Paperwhite, I'm pretty sure is the model number. I just bought my wife for Christmas a new model called the Voyage, which has a couple of enticing features that may result in me replacing this. One is that it's an ounce lighter. This is 7 something and that one is 6 something. Whole ounce, hooray. The second is it's got page turning buttons, I guess you'd call them, here on the side that will work if you're wearing gloves. Whereas this one, it's a touch screen and it doesn't work if you're wearing gloves. So that would be a good thing. So underneath that, so this kind of lives inside the bag between my quilts and the hammock. So it's well protected. So I don't know which is which. I've got a top quilt and bottom quilt. This is 40-degree quilts. I've got a pair for 20 degrees, although well, they didn't get used this year. And below that is clothes. We'll go through this quickly. Lightweight capeline for sleeping, not silk weight, one up from that. We're pulling out things in random order here. Some kind of medium weight fleece wear for camp. Old fleece bottoms for camp. Nothing special about those. Fleece socks for in the hammock. Again, lighter weight capeline for sleeping. This is usually what I sleep in. Those 2 items. Let's see. Well, usually actually that's not there. This is just a Cool Max probably bandana. Another lightweight. I usually wouldn't carry this either because it's just a duplicate, but somehow it found its way in here. And a little more chamois. And a spare set of hiking socks. The socks I wear are just lightweight liner socks, and I usually bring 2 pair on a trip. Oh, that somehow got lost. And this is a little balaclava that I might wear in bed if it's a little bit on the cool side. Well, and that's everything. So, hope you found that interesting or useful or both. It's still 4 months till probably my next hike. Thanks for putting up with me. See you on the trail.